Sales activation is when you give the customer a reason why right now would be a great time for them to take action. Choose who to lose. You're going to lose one of those two groups. You want the high profit, repeat and referral customer that is switchable, and then they become non-switchable when they learn to love you. Or do you want to chase the other twitchy little bastards that will leave you just as quickly as they came to you because the only thing they care about is the cheapest price?
Advertising is a tax you pay for not being remarkable. Welcome to Todd Liles and the Wizard of Ads, a podcast for business owners who want to become remarkable. Table lounger Todd Liles is going to take you deep into the mind of Roy H. Williams, the Wizard of Ads, to unleash the timeless truths and secret strategies that have helped him build dozens of America's most successful businesses. Do you want to build a brand that wins the heart, captures the mind, and creates lasting relationships? Take a deep breath and buckle up. It's time to fly.
Welcome to Todd Liles and the Wizard of Ads. Today's episode is episode number 25, and this is going to be about how to create calls to action that drive results. Because, Roy, here's the thing. I know every listener that is on here has been waiting for us to tell them what do they do to make people pick up that phone and call right now. Because everybody on here is looking for the direct response. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about the direct response, but maybe not in the way that they think, because we're actually going to use a different term. We're going to talk about sales activation.
Right.
We're going to get right into the middle of it because in our last episode and in the episodes prior, we talked about things like headlines. How do headlines start a conversation? How do they get you to the next step? In 3 episodes back, we talked about Google and the steady rising cost of PPC and how that's not going away. So today I figured, why don't we give them what they want?
Sure.
Why don't we tell them how to create ads that will create immediate results? Because that's what they want. That's what they're craving,
what everybody
Roy.
wants. Of course it is.
That's what they're craving. As always, you can find resources on today's episodes inside of Roy's Monday Morning Memos. I'm going to reference the articles that we're going to be referencing today up front. How to become a sales activation addict. All right. The 7 secrets of sales activation. I'm actually going to read those 7 secrets to them today, Roy.
Good.
How to create healthy, safe, and sustainable sales activation. The 12 answers of a great ad writer, and in just 3 words. So let's jump into it. Roy, topic number 1 today is sales activation. What in the world is sales activation?
Sales activation is when you give the customer a reason why right now would be a great time for them to take action. And there is not artificial urgency, but there's actually, there's a window of time that is an authentic window of time, and it's not subjective. And it's like, this is the thing you should be doing right now. And if that appeals to you, here's how you can reach us. And so you are, in fact, making an offer. The offer is limited to the number that you have available or to a window of time, not simply that you just chose a subjective end date.
Right.
But if you're doing something that is a preseason thing, when in the middle of the season, it's too late to do the preseason thing. See what I mean?
Yeah. So what I like about this is I'm imagining that I'm a farmer.
Okay.
And I'm farming this really rare apple.
Right.
It's this very unique apple. It took me a long time to come up with this breed. And the season came, I collected my apples and I took a look of them. And I've got this beautiful rare apple. We come up with a great name for it. But the truth is it's delicious. It's super sweet. It's got this amazing crunch. Everyone that's tried it loves it. And I count and I go, oh, I've only got 12 bushels of apples. That's it. Normally, a harvest of this size would be, 4 times that amount. I really, truly have a limited number of bushels. It's like 12.
Right.
So I'm going to talk about these great apples and say I've only got 12 bushels. To me, that's sales activation.
That is sales activation, absolutely.
Yeah, and
But
another.
it's not phony.
It's not phony. An example of direct response to me would be a different farmer doesn't have these apples. He's got your plain Jane apples. They're not very tasty. They're sort of mushy on the inside. He does a harvest. He doesn't have 12 bushels. He has 1,200 bushels.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to tell everybody they're very limited. They're sweet. They're delicious. I've only got 12 bushels, but that's what we need. We need to sell them. And also because I want to get rid of them, I'm going to sell them at a 40% discount.
Right.
That's direct call to action.
Yeah. And so the truth has a ring to it. The truth has a sound to it. And an exaggeration has a sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just an outright lie has a stink to it. And people subconsciously kind of know. They kind of know that this guy's telling the truth. He just has all the marks of the truth. Other times they go, yeah, this is just somebody that's just, doing the truth. And they just tune it out. And so customers in this century are jaded, experienced, and hard to fool, is the point.
Here's a quote that you have, and I love this. Sales activation is like shearing the wool from a sheep. You can do it again and again, and the creature is never diminished.
Yeah.
May I add that direct response is like shearing the wool from the sheep and then taking a lamb chop and thinking the sheep is still whole.
Right. And it's kind of like, no, when you slaughter the sheep, you get no more wool.
You get no more wool.
You just get whatever that sheep carcass was worth because now the sheep is gone. And so shearing the sheep, it's actually good for the sheep. The sheep likes it. And it's like an orchard. It's a repeatable thing, whereas if you have to plant a whole new harvest, man, that's a lot of work. Every time you harvest, you got to plant seed all over again.
Right.
It's like, no, let's plant seeds that become like coffee or apples or cherries. And it's just or grapevines that just produce and produce and produce and produce and produce year after year after year. And that's like, no, I'm going to raise sheep for wool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to raise sheep for meat,
Earlier today, we were having breakfast, and I told you a quote from a guy that is a mutual friend of our friend Ryan Dice.
Mhm.
And he's really smart. He really is. He's truly smart. I think this guy's got a lot of great business sense. But remember, I said this guy's also a direct response marketer at heart.
Right.
And I'm talking about Alex Hormozi. And I don't think that people have anything bad to say about Alex that know him. He seems to be a genuinely good human. But when I said he's a direct response marketer at heart, like I mean it to the extent like some of his advice is to have a sale every day of the week for any reason whatsoever. We're throwing a toga party, have a sale. It's Friday, have a sale. It's like you should come up with $1 million. You basically should have a sale every single day. And you and I know that if you haven't a sale all the single time, it's not a sale anymore. It's like the furniture store business that's there in San Marcos that's been going out of business for 20 years. No one believes it anymore.
Right.
It's done. It's over. But I think there is a real danger, which is segment number 2, the danger of overactivation. There is a real danger to overactivation, and probably the biggest one is summed up in this quote, which is anything that delivers big results quickly loses effectiveness over time. It's like drugs. You've said this so many times. People, they get addicted to it. So here's the real question, Roy. If I've become addicted to direct response, I've just looking for a sale, looking for a reason every time I can, and I'm an addict now. I know I'm a direct response addict. I keep spending money even though it's costing me more. How do I break that addiction?
Okay. Pain. Let's talk about change. Any change. If you want to lose weight, you will not lose weight until the pain of remaining as you are is greater than the pain of limiting your calorie intake. You will not change unless the pain of not changing is greater than the pain of change. And so change is always painful. No addict will ever actually get treatment that sticks. Your family makes you go into rehab. You're going straight to your dealer when you get out. You're not fixed. You just did the rehab thing, but you still have the craving. If you are going to change, it is pain that will make you do it. Or you say, this isn't working anymore. I keep trying it. I keep spending tons of money. I keep taking the advice of people that's supposed to know what they're doing. And in my experience, Todd, and this is tragic, when a person has just been trying desperately to get to the next level, and they've been doing it for 3 years, and they've done everything they can think of, and nothing is working, and they're flat at best or slightly down year after year, that is when the pain is usually sufficient. And that's a totally subjective number. It's just the number that I've noticed over the years.
Right.
Nobody will really change. If they believe, well, I should be able to spend the money and generate the lead. Spend the money, generate the lead. And I'm going, okay, it's a beautiful dream. And when you're small enough, you can make it work. And even big companies can make it work if everybody else in town is doing the same thing. In other words, if everybody in the category in a community everybody's doing Google ads and they're spending all their money on Google ads, okay, the guy with the biggest budget wins. The end.
Yeah.
Game over. And so you can do something that really is not the highest and best use of your money as long as nobody else in town knows any more than you do.
I want to talk to you about pain for a second.
All right.
And dear listener, forgive this story. I did grow up as a redneck in Mississippi and Louisiana. That's a fact. And we would go catch frogs.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we would gig, which I don't know if it was illegal at the time. Sometimes we just caught them by hand because we could and it was fun. And there was something that we knew. We're kids. I wouldn't do this today.
Right.
But what we knew was that if you took a couple of frogs
Right.
and you put them in a pot,
Right.
and the pot was the temperature of the water they came out of, they'd stay in that pot. It's comfortable. It's cozy.
Right.
And if we'd slowly turn the heat up on the pot, slowly, they'd never jump out.
Mm.
And they'd boil themselves to death.
Right.
The reason why I bring that up is that I think the thing that a lot of the addicts have found themselves into is that I agree with you about the pain, but the problem is this. The pot has been turned up slowly over time.
Right.
They become so used to it. It feels somewhat comfortable. They weren't thrown into it immediately.
Right.
And that is sad because some people will cook themselves. Literally, it'll be over. Game over.
Right.
You're done. You're toast. I have a recommendation because when you've become desensitized to the pain, the way that you feel the pain again is that you must get contrast. You must know what cool water feels like to know what hot water feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I recommend to the listener that's hearing what we're saying. Pull up your stats now and from years ago. Look at your cost. Look at your reduction in response. And you're probably not doing relational branding right now, but you probably know people that are perhaps connected with us. Call them, see if they'll share your stats. When you see what a well-branded company that's doing relational marketing, what their cost per click looks like compared to yours, when you see what their conversion is compared to yours, you will be awakened to the pain again.
Yesterday we were looking, no, it was Tuesday. This is Thursday. On Tuesday, we were actually looking at data that one of our partners extracted from ServiceTitan. He has access to the AP. And he pulled this data to demonstrate from the ServiceTitan data to a client, your unbranded keywords. The unbranded keywords are whenever somebody types in hot water heater replacement, air conditioning repair, something like that. They name the category that they need, not the name of the advertiser. Now, the advertiser, of course, had seen the branded keyword search, people searching for him by name or by one of the phrases that is always used in the ads, right? Opening or closing phrases. Those are branded. In other words, nobody else uses them. They're definitely looking for you. Even if they don't remember the name of the company, remember this thing that you always say. Okay. In the same city, in the same week, and this was like 3 years into the campaign. So we had to, 156 weeks of nonstop advertising behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 52 weeks a year. And a click, not a sale, but a click was costing him $42, which was not bad in the unbranded keywords.
Okay.
Barely $4
There you go.
when somebody typed his name into Google and clicked it. And the close rate, the conversion, unbelievably high conversion when they type in your name, unbelievably high average sale because they're not shopping around, and unbelievably high profit margin. So high CAP, CAP. And so all of the profits, you can look down at the bottom, this amount of profit is made from jobs this last week that typed in your name into Google.
That's it.
And you know what we saw on the other side?
Hmm.
The conversion was so low. It's
That's
actually
it.
in 3 different cities. The conversion was so low, the average sale was so low, and the profit margin was so low on those jobs that he actually lost $18,000 in this city after you deduct the cost of the AdWords.
That's it.
So the gross profit on the job minus the cost of the AdWords, right? And in 3 different cities, red ink at the bottom, and this is straight out of Service Titan, dead loss. Most digital agencies don't want to separate your data from branded and unbranded keywords unless you don't have a name. Nobody's typing in your name, so it doesn't change anything. But whenever your branding campaign, we like to call it customer bonding, you're building a bond with future customers. When you finally have got enough, and usually it takes 6-7 months to really get any kind of momentum going at all. And even then, you're not going to be excited, but you're going to know it's working, and
Right.
you're going to be able to feel good about the future. Well, this person was ready for it because he had 3 years of pain, real serious pain. And so when he switched over, he was all in, never looked back. And so now we're at the end of a year, he's super excited. This is growing great. At the end of the second year, he's like dancing in the street, showering in money. At the end of the third year, we pull this data and we're saying, you need to quit spending money on unbranded keywords. Just quit because it's actually costing you money. You're literally spending more money to generate the click than you're making on the jobs. And once he saw that, he goes, yeah, you're right. And so that you can get to the point where you're paying $4 a click that have a super high conversion rate. And now all of a sudden you have a very modest AdWords budget. Always pay for your own name. Figure out a way to make people type your name into Google.
That's it. That's 100% it. And the next part of that, after pain, still is belief. I can realize my pain, but can I believe that you guys can actually, do what you say that you could do? It's the same thing we struggle with at Service Excellence. People can be in deep pain, but as you've said before, when someone's had 3 or 4 bad experiences, they are automatically assuming that their experience is also going to be bad with you. And I would say you don't even want to take that client on if they're already convinced at the top that, no, you're going to be the same as everybody else. Well, then go away because you're not even going to give me a fair chance.
Mhm.
I need a fair chance. Let's move into the next segment here. I now want to talk about the 7 truths of sales activation. And before I get to the 7 truths of sales activation, I want to read something from one of your articles, The 7 Quiet Secrets of Sales Activation. So, listener, if you will, these are quiet secrets. I'm not going to read them quietly, but I want to give them to you. Number one, every powerful message comes at a cost. Number 2, when you don't have cash, spend time instead. Number 3, these diamond earrings whisper, I love you. Number 4, promote your slowest day of the week. Number 5, you don't think like a business owner, you think like the customer. Number 6, in-house financing at 0% interest is a friendlier offer. Number 7, powerful offers work even when they don't. Now, if you want the context, go read the full blog in its depth, The 7 Quiet Secrets of Sales Activation. I wanted to preface that, Roy, because now I want to go into the 7 truths of sales activation, which is in the same blog. And what I'd like you to do in a sentence or two, land the plane after I give each one.
Okay.
Number 1,
Okay.
you never see a bigger crowd than the first time you cry wolf.
Yeah. When the companies that do store closings, going out of business, there's several companies that will come in and facilitate a going out of business for retailers. You know what their single biggest question is when they determine the level of their interest in being the people that you contract with?
What's that?
How often do you have a sale? And how deep are the discounts? And when a company never has a sale, never had a sale in the history of the company,
That's what they do.
then they go, oh, we're in. Because now when you say we're selling it to the walls, no reasonable offer will be refused and all that kind of stuff, everybody believes it because this company in 70 years has never had a sale. And so now all of a sudden, you'll have to have a traffic cop. I mean, it's a madhouse. People will be standing in line for blocks before the doors even open. And if a company got in trouble because they were always having a 30% off sale, and then nobody would come in at 30% anymore, and they started having 40% off sale to get traffic. And then and then nobody came in on 40% off, so they had to have a 50% off sale. And then pretty soon it's like the fireworks stands where it says buy one, get 12 free. And it's like, yeah, that's a scam, and we all know it's a scam. But the point is, when people believe you, they respond.
Right.
When they don't believe you because they've heard this lie before, they don't respond.
I want to read number 2 truth, and I think you just already covered the detail of it, so I'm just going to read it. Number 2, anything that delivers big results quickly will work less and less well the longer you keep doing it.
Yep.
Number 3, you cannot build a strong and resilient company on gimmicks and empty promises. Number 4, anything that works better and better the longer you keep doing it will deliver disappointing results at first. Let's pause there.
All right. And so the one about gimmicks and empty promises, okay, there's 2 kinds of customers in every business category in the world. Well, 3 kinds. There's customers that are switchable. They're willing to switch to a different brand or a different provider. There's customers that are non-switchable. They're not leaving their current product or service provider until that product or service provider screws up really, 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 really bad more than once. They're absolutely going to be forgiven for one big screw up from a loyal customer. 2 maybe, but there comes a point at which, yeah, I'm gone. Sorry. So switchable, non-switchable. And then the third category is switchable for reasons of price alone. So when you're doing gimmicks and you're doing hustles and you're doing, little con things, you are appealing to customers that are switchable for reasons of price alone. All the research, every independent research organization that's ever researched it, and some big ones have, they've done it for decades. Guess what they will always tell you? The customer who will switch to you for reasons of price alone will switch from you for the same reason just as quickly. And there is nothing that someone else cannot do a little worse and sell a little cheaper. And so you cannot build a solid business on price alone. And so whenever you get caught into this trap of discount and special offer and whatever, you're training these people to wait for increasingly big offers, and you're training everybody else. Those people are just scam artists, and I want to deal with a company that is reliable, has integrity, delivers a high level of service, and they're not cut up on all this, carnival barking. And so the switchable customer is how you build a powerful company.
Absolutely.
And then you win the switchable customer, and then you make them non-switchable.
So, Roy, I've heard different numbers before. I've heard that the switchable for reasons on price alone was as little as 15% and as high as 30%, as in there are just 15 to 30% of the marketplace where really the only thing they're really concerned about is the lowest price. Do you know if those numbers are accurate?
I don't know what's accurate. I will tell you what I actually believe.
Yes, I'd like
very, 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 very deeply. I believe in every product or service category, it's about half.
Oh, wow.
I think that that about half of the purchasers are going to shop till they drop And it's the transactional customer. The transactional customer, their biggest fear is that they could have bought it somewhere else for a little bit less. And the biggest fear of the relational customer is making the wrong choice. They don't want to, I bought the wrong one.
Right.
I chose the wrong company. And so when a person isn't primarily concerned about price, they're concerned about a whole lot of things. It's about 50-50, Todd. 50-50.
I have to make a point on that.
Okay.
I'm thinking about my business contractor, owns a plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, roofing company,
Right.
Garage doors, the whole 9 yards.
Oh.
And this is what you'll hear. They'll want a certain closing percentage. Of course they do. They want a certain closing percentage. They want a certain average ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And what they are not understanding is that whether it's 30% or whether it's 50%, that's a large portion of the audience.
Right.
But if you're running direct call response, sell ads, you are attracting those people.
Right.
And yet you still want your professionals to have the highest average ticket at the highest close rate. And the only way that that's going to occur is that you use such strong, undesirable
Bottom line is you're
covering.
dancing on the edges of felony fraud.
Yes, it's dangerous.
That's what you're going to have to do, because if they have to deliver high yield profit margins,
you better damn near have a gun to their head.
Well,
or you better be a really good liar.
The number of we know companies, companies. Have never been my clients, but have gotten in serious legal trouble, FBI raids, things like that, for deceptive trade practices. And I'm going, nope, it's real. Seen it, watched it, very familiar with a bunch of those. And I'm going, yeah, that's how that happens. When you start overreaching and putting too much pressure on people, but you're not giving them the tools to make a high margin. They're not given the products. They're not given the customer experience that deserves a high margin, but they're demanded to get it. Why? Because you're paying them to be professional liars.
Yeah.
And I'm going, this is not a company with a good culture. This is a company will have inventory or employee churn,
right,
like you wouldn't imagine. And the bottom line is, whenever you have people that stay with you and they love working for your company, it's because they know that the company delivers everything it promises.
Right.
And that is culture. And when companies go, man, this company, we really are who we say we are. And that's when your people feel good about it and they have confidence and they perform like crazy. And I know that you teach culture and you teach sales. And you cannot have a great sales force without a great company culture. And the culture has to soak down so that everybody knows, yeah, we're not telling lies in our ads. We really are the company we say that we are. And then everything works like it should.
100%. Truth number 5, it takes a while to make people feel like they really know you. Along with truth number 6, this is why winning the hearts of customers requires months of meaningful courtship.
Yeah.
Truth number 7, the average business owner does not have the faith and the patience to build an attractive brand. This is particularly true of business owners who trust metrics more than they trust their own heart.
Right. Okay, this is going to sound, I'll say a lot of things that are tacky, but maybe this one's more than not. You can observe numerous observable behaviors of a person, and you can predict a lot of, I don't know what that is, it needs to be turned off. You can predict a lot of other behaviors that they've never displayed. They've never shown you those behaviors, but they're predictable based on other things that you've seen. And there are people that I call twitchy little bastards. And it's because they just don't have the spine, the backbone, the determination, the commitment, the diligence, the follow through. They just don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
They just flit from one thing to the next, and they're easily persuaded. And anywhere they land, they're going to be gone. They always believe the last person they talk to.
All right.
And no matter what they decide, the next person that talks to them is going to send them off in a whole different direction. And I'm going, I've learned never, ever even meet with people like that, because they will believe everything you say until they talk to someone
Until
else.
you're gone.
And until they talk to someone else. And I'm saying, if you find a person and you see these people always finish what they started, these people have got employees that have been with them for a long time, and they got a lot of people who've been with them for a long time. They don't have a big employee churn, and you just see all kinds of evidence of they're a reliable rock. Once they've made a decision, they execute it, and they're not twitchy. They're not fly-by-night. They're not nervous. They're just made of the stuff that doesn't get scared. And I'm going, oh yeah, give me that guy. Give me that guy and we'll take over the world. And it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
Customers are about 50-50. Business owners are about 50-50. And I'm old enough and been doing this enough years, I can spot them pretty quick. And so choose who to lose. You're going to ask me, what is the question? How would you summarize today's show? I'll tell you right now, choose who to lose. You're going to lose one of those two groups. Do you want the high profit, repeat and referral customer that is switchable and then they become non-switchable when they learn to love you? Or do you want to chase the other twitchy little bastards that will leave you just as quickly as they came to you because the only thing they care about is the cheapest price?
I love it. All right, listener, we're actually going to give you something. We've given you many things already, but I'm going to give you something specific to take away. And I'm going to do that by giving a quote from the 12 Answers of Great Ad Writers. And then we're going to go into the ad segment today. And the ad segment today isn't going to be a video and isn't going to be a display copy. It's actually going to be a story about Kessler's. So here's the quote. 60% of your ads should bond to the customer and 40% of the ads should activate them to respond. Now, Roy, I give that quote because I don't want any of our listeners or watchers to think that what we're saying is that they shouldn't do some sort of sales activation. Now, very clearly, we said that they should.
40% of the ad should be sales activation.
Right. The type that shears the sheep but doesn't take the lamb chop with it. So we're going to move into Kessler, and specifically what I want to talk about is the event that they have every year that they call their annual upgrade event. Annual upgrade event. And if I have the details right, then we're good to go. If not, give me some slight corrections. But as I understand it, the company built loyalty year-round through their relational advertisement, and every year they had a major upgrade event, which was essentially saying, like, hey, if you have a ring, bring it in. We will upgrade it. I think when I was looking on their website, I saw something that's still very similar to that, which is almost like a trade-in. Like if you have a ring that you like today, but you want to upgrade that ring, then bring it in. We'll upgrade you now.
Right.
So I don't know all the details of this, but what I found myself going is this annual upgrade event sounds sort of fun and sexy, right? You've bought something from us or you've got something from someone else, and it's time to get your wife a little bit bigger. You want to, upgrade that engagement ring. So talk a little bit about that. Were you in on that creation?
Of course. I'm glad you're talking about Kessler's because I mentioned there are companies I've worked with for 37 years.
Right.
And they've advertised 52 weeks a year for 37 years.
That's a long time.
Kessler's is one of those companies.
3 times a week at least, minimum.
Well, no, what I'm saying is the average person in Milwaukee or Appleton, Wisconsin, or Grand Rapids, Michigan, or Madison, Wisconsin, of these 9 stores, the average person in those towns, they're about half of the population, will hear one of those ads. The same company, the same person will hear an ad for that company 3 times a week, actually hear it 3 times a week. Now, we don't run a lot more than 3 ads, of course, but they'll hear it 3 times a week, 52 weeks in a row, 156 times a year. At the end of 10 years, they've heard it 15,600 times, right? And the point is you become a household word. So let me talk about sales activation and Kessler's.
Okay.
So the upgrade event is just one of the many, many, many sales activation things we do every year. But now let's look at the backbone of the business at Kessler's Diamonds, right? Go to the website, kesslersdiamonds.com. In 37 years, we've never had a discount event. They don't discount across the counter. If somebody's looking at a ring and it's $4,500, they said, well, I'll give you $4,000 for it, or $4,250, or name a number. They go, no, I've got a lot of $4,000 rings. Let me go get those for you.
Smart.
This one's $4,500. And so not $1 here, not 50 cents, no discount. But when you buy from them, every jeweler in the world says, well, if you bring your jewelry in once a year, for us to inspect it, then if the diamond falls out, we'll replace it, blah, 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 blah. Well, Kessler's figured out early in the day how to mount diamonds so that you don't have to retip the prongs. Gold wears down, right?
Right.
And when gold wears down, just through putting your arm through your sleeve or in your purse or whatever, and it wears down that gold that holds the prongs that hold the diamond in, one of those prongs wears down enough, the diamond falls out. Platinum is like stainless steel. Platinum is much more dense, infinitely more strong, and doesn't wear down. It's hard. And so a platinum head is white, and it doesn't make the diamond look yellow like yellow gold does. So he puts platinum heads in, even though they cost him about $100 more than a white gold head. You know why he does it?
Yeah, because he doesn't want that diamond to fall out.
He can give a lifetime warranty. When you buy a ring from Kessler's, if that diamond ever comes out, or if the ring is ever damaged, or if it actually fell down the garbage disposal, or it was laying in the street and a truck ran over it, if you can bring us the pieces that used to be the ring, if you lose the ring, we hope you had insurance. But if you bring us what used to be the jewelry, if we can't fix it, we'll replace it at no charge forever. You don't need to have your receipt. We have records. We know you bought it here. And maintenance is free forever. Changing the ring size is free forever. Everything, any service you need, you bought it here, whatever you need us to do to it forever, we do it at no charge. Then the upgrade. It's real simple. When you buy a diamond at Kessler's in that ring, and you want a bigger diamond, it's what we call it shrinking diamond syndrome. This diamond used to look bigger. I know it used to look bigger. It's like, okay, we will give you 100% of the price you paid for that diamond when you trade it in on a larger diamond. And we'll do it again and again and again and again with the diamond stud earrings. You buy a 1/4 carat and then you want bigger ones, full value back for the 1/4 carat diamonds, and we replace it with bigger diamonds. You just pay the difference. And so now that, when you start talking about, that is a sales activation thing. So we had this huge, huge, huge selection of diamonds we brought in, unbelievable number of diamonds. If you want to upgrade your ring, come in. We know how much you paid for that diamond. That's how much credit you have to whatever you pick out. You want to put a bigger diamond in your ring, the upgrade. But here's the last one. We also do what's called a feature item. Now, in retail, a feature item this is a really cool design. It looks way more expensive than it actually costs. And so you talk about it, and then when people see it, they go, oh, yeah, that looks like it would be like $2,500. Well, it's $450. And it's kind of like, oh, hell yeah, that's an amazing value. Now, $450 is full price. It just looks like it ought to be worth more than that. Mm-hmm. See what I mean? That's a really powerful look. So how many of these can we get? And these are $450 till they're all gone. And we got all the heart in the world. We bought everything the manufacturer made because this is a really awesome thing, and we're excited about it. And I remember one of my clients, they were able to buy like 7,000 of something. And they had 7 stores. And every store was selling like 1,000 in the next 10 days. We were hoping they would last until Valentine's Day. We were out like a week before Valentine's Day. We sold all 7,000 of this feature item. Now, the feature item isn't discounted. It's just a really cool thing that people are going to love. And because of whatever, it just looks a lot more expensive than it ought to be. People get excited.
Yeah.
That's not a sale. It's not a discount. But we're going, hey, wouldn't this be a good time to have your air conditioner maintained? You're getting ready to start it up. It's been sitting without the compressor moving all winter long. And now, because you got a gas furnace, now this sucker is going to come on. And as you know, the lubricant travels within the refrigerant.
Right.
And the refrigerant hasn't been circulating. And you want to bring this thing you want to get this thing ready to come on.
Would you want to bring it on gently?
Yes.
Gently?
Yeah. And so what happens is when you can tell people now would be a good time to do this, if you want to do this, here's how much we're going to charge. We're going to charge you $89 to do this for you.
Right.
And it's a good thing to do this time of year. That is a feature item. That is an offer. That is sales activation. You're going to get invited to the home. You're going to do exactly what you said you were going to do. And you're going to find a weak capacitor or something. And so everybody knows this, but what I'm saying is you can trigger an action without having to be weird about it.
Yeah, have a real legitimate
reason that makes sense, and it's not a discounted price.
But
it's just
let me give you my big takeaway from what you said about Kessler's.
Cool.
When you talk about the upgrade, and when you also talk about the platinum prongs, what went through my brain immediately is that is a byproduct of some core value that they have that I've never seen their core values, but some way or another, it's basically written, we will do what it takes to have a client for life. Because if you're replacing my ring and my ring's fine, but I want to upgrade my diamond, it's essentially saying, how do we have a client for life? And it just occurred to me that any sales activation built around your core values is a legitimate sales activation.
Right.
And I love that.
So here's the deal. For the record, I didn't know you were going to choose Kessler's, okay? Kessler's Diamonds is the most secure, profitable, fast-growing diamond company in America today. They are legendary, and it's because unconditional integrity, unconditional, and by the way, nobody leaves Kessler's as an employee. Everybody wants to work for Kessler's. Nobody leaves. Nobody ever leaves Kessler's. It's like, no, you're there. You're not leaving. This is the most fun place to work in the world. They don't have quotas. There's no pressure. It is like you just have to absolutely make the customer so happy they came in here. And you're going to make tons of money for that. And everybody makes tons of money. And the bottom line is, they come in here because they love us, because we deliver the best experience and the best products and have the strongest warranty, and they just have more fun in here than anywhere else. And I'm going, yeah, they win. They absolutely win. And everybody tries to, how do they do that? They do it by being the company they say they are.
Roy, on this topic of sales activation and doing it the right way, what is the one thing the listener should take away?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Don't make crap up. If there's a legitimate reason that this would be a good time to do this, tell them what that is, and they will do it.
Thank you. So good sales activation isn't actually about forcing your client to do anything. It's giving them a window to do the things that they want to do, the things that will keep them in relationship with you for a really long time and have them thinking about you and feeling great about you for the lifetime of that client. That's today's episode.
You've been listening to Tug of Love, Todd Liles, and the Wizard of Ads, where the bold win and the remarkable reign. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow so you never miss a conversation. If you want a copy of the show notes or watch the ads from today's show, head over to toddliles.com/wizard. This episode is dedicated to the business owners who refuse to be ordinary.